Okay, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. This is our second lecture in the academic writing. Okay, and we will start with the sentence structure, and here we have a model. This is a short, easy to read text about a person who has made a difference, George Lucas, and we have here 3 questions about where is or what is the subject and the verb. For example, sentence number 1, here we have filmmaker George Lucas was changed. Okay, so the subject is filmmaker George Lucas and the subject, the verb has changed. And here I want you to know what is the subject in sentence number 7 and the last one. It's an easy to find these things. A sentence is a group of words that what is a sentence? Simple sentence. We are talking about simple sentence or sentences in general. A sentence is a group of words that contain at least one subject and one verb and express complete thought. So a sentence, a group of words that at least have one subject and one verb and express a complete sentence. We have 4 types of sentences: simple sentences, compound sentences, complex sentences, and compound complex sentences. A simple sentence has one subject verb pair. At least have one subject verb. Okay? For example, here we have this example: filmmaker George Lucas has changed. One subject, one verb. One new technology was. Okay, so here we have also one subject, one verb. A simple sentence can have one of several possible formulas. Here we have these formulas. We may have one subject, one verb, 2 subjects, young people and adults, okay, one verb, enjoyed. We have one subject, 2 verbs, the film entertained and thrilled, or we have 2 subject, 2 verbs, Luke Skywalker and his friends thrilled, battled and made. Okay. So a sentence can have 2 subjects or more and have 2 verb or more. Okay, and there should be agreement between the subject and the verb. When it is singular, so the verb should be singular. When it's plural, should be plural. My sister is. My sisters are. Okay. Subject verb agreement. Sometimes confusing. Sometimes we use are at the beginning of the sentence, and here we should focus where is the subject. There is a student, or there are 3 students. So there is a student. A student is the subject, not there. Okay, and why is because the students is singular, and there are 3 students. So here why are because 3 students. It's plural. Okay, now we come to this part, the paragraph. Prepositional phrase. A group of words beginning with a preposition like such as of, with, in, at, or on, and ending with a noun or pronoun. Let's see. One of my sisters is a singular. So one of my sister. This is the what prepositional phrase. One of. So when we come to decide what is the or where is or what type of the subject and the verb, we can cross or mentally cross them. يعني نجتازهم نتجاوزهم. Okay. So these are the prepositional phrase. One of my sisters. 3 color of her. The color of her eyes. Okay, so of her eyes. This is prepositional phrase. Okay, some words are always singular. For example, one, neither, much, each, either, nothing. Okay, is anyone. So these are always. The verb that come after them should be what? Singular, because these words are always singular. we have some words that always plural, both, several, and many. Okay, these, when we have these, so always we have are. Both of my parents, several of the teachers, many of my friends. Okay, a few words can be both, can be either singular or plural. Some of the money was, some of the students were. All of my time, all of my brothers, most, a lot of, none. This can be both singular and plural. Here we have practice, underline. I want you to, or here as it's required in this practice, underline the subject with one line and the verb with 2 lines, and put parentheses around prepositional practice. I have done some of these sentences for you. I want to do the same for the others. Okay, to underline the subject with 1 line, the verb with 2 lines, and put into between parentheses the prepositional practice or phrase. Okay, in each sentence, I want you to underline the subject with 1 line and write subject. Okay, to underline and to write S. Okay, the subject. For example, sentence number 1, here we have one of my classmates. One is the subject. Some of the teachers. Some here is the subject. Okay, and also you have to cross the incorrect verb. When it is one, so it is. When some of my teachers, some, here we have this, the verb should be what? Should be plural, speak, not speaks. Each of the gifts, each is the subject, so it will be was. One of the words on the test was or were, one was, and so on. And here to work on this on this exercise, okay, editing practice, find and correct 6 errors. I try to find them, the errors. I just want you to correct them instead of, for example, to correct the subject or to correct the verb. I think it's the verb agreement. A fragment, in some languages, you can sometimes leave out the subjects in a sentence. In other, you can sometimes leave out the verb. Okay, sometimes we cannot find. There is no. We assume or we think that there is no subject or there is no verb. For example, it's not easy to get an A in Professor Wilson class. There is no subject. Where is the subject? The sentence starts with is. So the subject is where. Okay, the subject is it. It is not easy. Okay, people in New York always in a hurry. Okay, so there's no verb. Where is the verb? People in New York always are in a hurry. Okay, so the verb is are. Sometimes you find it not there, or they left the subject or the verb. We have to understand and to find and to understand the sentence or to find the correct verb. Here we have practice. Okay, step 1, read each sentence and decide if it is complete sentence or fragment sentence. Fragment sentence where you cannot find the subject or the verb. Also, I have done some of these for you. It's very easy. I want you to read the sentence and to figure out, or first to decide whether it is a complete sentence or fragment sentence, and to work on the verb, to correct the verb, or what is the missing, the subject or the verb, and to write it down. Editing in practice, find and underline 5 fragments in the following paragraph. Here you have the paragraph, and I want you to work on this paragraph to find the fragment or the missing here. the subject or the verb. Now we come to the most important part in this lecture, which is the process of writing overview. Here, writing is never one step action, okay? So it's divided into, it's a process, it's different, or it's steps, process of different steps. Is one ongoing creative act, okay? When you first write something, you have already been thinking about what to say. When you decide to write, so you have to think about what to say, or try to collect some ideas, some data in your mind, and then start writing. Then after you have finished writing, you read over what you have written. When you finish writing, you start reading, or read what you have written to see it's, for example, complete, it's easy to read, for example, to understand. It's there's cohesion, it's correct sentences, correct pronunciation and spelling and these things. And make change and correction. You write and revise, okay? Now when you read, so you have to rewrite something to correct and to revise, and then you write and revise. The process of writing has roughly 4 steps, okay? So there are 4 steps. Start with the idea, then you organize the ideas, then you write, and then you polish your writing. Start with finding the idea, then you write. Start with writing the idea, write down the idea, then organizing the ideas into text. Okay, the third step, you write rough draft, the first draft, okay? And then you have to rewrite, revise, and polish your writing. The first step before writing, the first step is called pre-writing. So preview or pre-writing. Here you have to get what the ideas. And here we have the writer here suggests listening. Listening is a pre-writing technique. That means to think about the ideas and put them, to write them down. For example, I will write about an important person in my life. I try to find the persons who were important in my life, to write them down, and then to decide which one I choose to write about. Write it down, keep on writing until the flow. Here, when you decide the idea and then you come to the write, so you have to write down the ideas and keep on going on writing without stopping, without thinking about grammar, without thinking about spelling and pronunciation. Okay? In the following examples, the assignment was to write a paragraph about a person who has made a difference in the world, in the community, or in the writer life. Okay? So here we have this example. For example, the teacher asks you to write about a person that made a difference in your life, in the world, or in your community, or in your life personally. So you have to choose to find a person. Okay, I'm just looking to the time. Next, the writer started a new list and then try to choose one. Okay, to circle one of these personalities, and then, or these characters, and then to try to gather information or ideas about this person. The writer then looked at his second list and decided to write about how his grandfather is helped the community, his circle, that idea. Now he put down the ideas, the different ideas, then he decided to choose one of these ideas, not all of them. So here in this, he decided to write about how he changed, how he helped his community to be better. So here he circled the important ideas, and he will cross or leave all the other things or other ideas that are not related to the main idea that he chosen, or he or she chosen to write about. Then we come to the next step, is the writing process, is to organize the ideas into text, to a simple outline. So try here, we have the writer try to write down the ideas, to list them, not to write them in text, but to list them. Then he or she will come to put them in a paragraph. Okay. Make a simple outline for the list you make in try here. Try the first draft. Now, for example, give your outline a title. You have to choose a title for these outlines. Okay, the points that you have chosen to work on. Write a sentence like the one in the model that names the person and says what he or she did to make a difference. So you have to name the person. I'm right about my grandfather. I'm right about this person. Or I'm for example, physics teacher or anyone. Write the main ideas below this sentence. When you choose this as a main sentence, main ideas, you have to start writing the supporting sentences, or to the sequence of your ideas should be correct to explain and to clarify the main idea. Now we come to the writing. The next step is to write a rough draft using your outline as a guide. Write your rough draft as quickly as possible without stopping and without stopping to think about grammar, spelling, and punctuation. In the first draft, you have to write quickly without to invest to the flow of the ideas, to write them down, and then you will come to correct the grammatical mistakes, the pronunciation, and the spelling, and these things. Here we have the first draft, okay, or the rough draft, the first draft of the person. Then the polishing, revising, and editing. In this step, you polish what you have written. That means you will revise and edit. Okay, you will read the text, try to correct the mistakes, correct the spelling, the grammatical mistakes, everything. Try to make it clear and understandable paragraph. And then peer editing, you will give it to your colleague, to your friend. Now, when we write as teacher, when we write, for example, a research paper, I give it to one of my colleagues to read it, to revise, or for proofreading. Okay, so this is a very important stage, okay, or step, that you give your writing to one or to another person to read and to see and to give you advice about, for example, to change this sentence, or to why you written this. You can, for example, change it to something else. Okay, so peer editing is very important, which means that to give your work to another friend to read it. A peer editor job is to read, ask questions, and comments. Okay, so he will read, ask you questions, and give comment, as we see here. For example, this is a peer review. Write some here comments, and the writer comments back on these on the peer comments. Then, according to these comments, you will correct your draft or your text. Okay, then you work on the final copy, self-editing. Then you will read again, self-editing. You will read again your text, revise it, try to correct, make it or pay attention to the coherence of the text, to the words, to make it understandable. Okay, easy to read and understand by readers, or by anyone, by your teacher. So it's very important to also the final step of reviewing your final copy. In the review, this is a review for what we have studied under this chapter. Okay, here the review I want you to read, and here the assignment for the next time, inshallah. I want you under this week. By the way, I would like to thank you for sending the assignment for last week. Okay, I have received, many of you have sent their assignment, And now I want you to read this and to write your assignment. Okay, step 1, step 2, according to the steps that we have studied. So read these steps and write your assignment according to these steps. And thank you very much for today.